What's up guys, and welcome back. I just finished my Friday night dash and I thought I'd stop for a couple of minutes just to run a video for you guys on acceptance criteria and building your own acceptance criteria.
We're gonna do some learning today.
Seatbelts, everyone!
Some of these tips that I'm gonna give you over the next couple of minutes, I'm gonna help you earn more money as a DoorDasher. But let's start with what's an acceptance criteria and why is it important to DoorDashing? So an acceptance criteria will be a bunch of rules that you build before you accept each order coming through. If an order doesn't meet these criteria that you build yourself, you decline it. This way, you're building up your own rules to make as much money as possible for yourself. Now, the reason why I'm not just saying hard and fast rules, such as if an order's $2, decline it. If it's that far, decline it. If it's from this restaurant, decline it. Is because every country, every zone, every region is going to be different. This is why you need to build your own rules that work for you. And I'm going to teach you how to do that based off some principles that I follow myself. Now, some of you may know the things I'm about to run through, and good for you, because you're probably out there killing it right now. But a refresher never hurts, and you can always go back to refine your own principles. For the new dashers out there, this will be perfect to help you build your own rules to succeed.
Let's just do it. Let's meet this thing head on. And you were in it to win it.
Screenshot your orders before you accept or decline. A lot of the time you'll be out on the road driving. You've got a 30-second timer counting down, and you may not have enough time to pull over and read all the details properly. At the end of your shift, you can sit down and revise through all the orders that you accepted or declined. This way, you can take your time to run through the orders and make sure that your acceptance criteria has been applied. Maybe you got it right, maybe you got it wrong. Maybe this is the first time at a new restaurant. And this way you can look through how much you got paid, how much distance you did, and the wait time at the restaurant you can start to factor in. By screenshotting everything through, at the end of your shift, you can debunk, debrief, and revise. For new dashers, you need to build up your internal database of the zone that you dash in. The only way to do that is to accept orders. Your first 50 to 100 orders, this is where you're going to start to build up the data that you need to know on whether a restaurant has a long delay, or whether a certain area has got a bad drop off, or whether you drop off into an area and then you're out of a zone and you can't look for orders at that point and you got a long drive to get back somewhere. Maybe through experience you learned that a certain area has really high traffic in certain hours, so you avoid doing pickups or drop-offs in that area because you know you'll be gridlocked in traffic. Only by doing these deliveries and building up your own database for your zone that works for you can you start to revise back and see what works, what doesn't work. You need the data, and the only way to get that data is to get out there and start accepting orders. Learn what drop-off areas put you out of zone. The key to making the most money is to be looking for orders, and if you're out of zone and you're not looking for orders, and it's telling you to navigate back to somewhere where you can look for orders, you're wasting time, you're wasting money. If you're going to accept a drop-off that puts you out of zone, you better damn well make sure it's worth your money. Start to pay attention of how long it takes for you to get back to an area where you're looking for orders after doing a far drop-off. Even start to evaluate, is it worth dropping off to this area at all? If it's going to take you too long to get back to zone looking for orders, it's not worth dropping off in that area. Restaurants pay DoorDash to extend out their delivery zones. So while you might have a specific zone that you dash around in, the restaurant's radius might extend past there and drop off to a customer who's not even in the zones where you can find or accept orders. What this means for you is that you'll be driving back before you can even get into the queue to start finding orders again. How much money is your bottom that you'll accept for an order? Now, each zone, each region is going to be different. Some regions have got very small drop-offs, maybe 2-3 kilometers because it's a high density city area. Maybe you're dashing in a small town and it's semi-rural and the average is 10 kilometers or 10 miles. There's no hard and fast rules when it comes to it, and this is where you need to start to break down what your minimum value that you accept will be.
So dude, how do I break down what is the minimum value for my order? What am I looking at? What am I supposed to do?
So to do this, you need data. You need to be looking through all your good orders. Remember how I said to screenshot everything to review through? That's how you start to build up your data bank. Why was this order good? Was this restaurant fast? Did I do the order really quickly? Was it low kilometers that worked for me? Once again, if you're reliant on customer tips, pay attention to the restaurants. If it's a more fancy restaurant and it has a lot of items in the order, it's more likely the customer's going to tip. If it's a McDonald's order and there is one item, a cheeseburger meal or something like that, it's less likely the customer will tip because they've invested so little money into it. So by seeing the total amount of items, it can be an indicator if a customer's going to tip. But to work out your bare minimum base rate, you can't rely on a tip. Now there's a lot of decline now movements happening and it makes sense. No one wants to be delivering stuff for just $2. That's absolute rubbish. For the areas that I dash in, the rules that I've built for my minimum value that I'll accept is $4 plus the distance in dollars plus peak, if it applies. If the order comes in underneath that value, I decline it. If the order comes in equal to that value or better, I accept it. It's worth my time. Knowing the equation that you use and that you create yourself, you also need to know that DoorDash has got caps in place. An example in my zone is the maximum that DoorDash will pay me is $25 plus any peak bonus on top, regardless of how many kilometers it goes past there. So I might get a 50-kilometer order with no peak and it will cap out at $25. I might get a 30-kilometer order with no peak and it'll cap out at $25. I might get a 20-kilometer order and it will cap out at $25. So I need to be wary and have my eyes switched on when I do see $25 or $27.50 if there's a peak, or $30 if there's an even better peak on. I need to be aware of them kilometers to really see if it's worth my time. The last thing you want to be doing is driving 50 miles to do a drop-off for $20 or $25 or whatever the cap is in your zone. It's going to waste your time and it's just not worth it.
Like, I see some of these orders come through and I'm like, DoorDash, are you actually on crack right now? Are you fucking high? No one would accept that.
So make sure you understand your caps. That way you're not a sucker getting ripped off. You need to start to learn to identify marketplace orders. A marketplace order is essentially where a customer places an order through a third-party application that's not DoorDash. So this could be from a supermarket's website where they're doing online shopping and they outsource the delivery to DoorDash, or if a customer places an order through on a McDonald's app and then it gets outsourced to DoorDash.
Hey guys, just a note here from editing. I just want to be super clear that I'm just using Walmart as an example coming up. I'm just trying to get the concept through that orders come through different funnels. And third-party funnels may have a service level agreement, or an SLA for short, which means they'll have preset terms across on what the payment will be for this order. The tipping may not exist, or it may not be prominent or advocated. So take it with a grain of salt. I use Walmart a lot coming up, but they do have tipping functionality. I don't think it's prominent across on their websites, and they've also got other funnels such as free delivery via Walmart, where I doubt that customers using that are really thinking about tips at that point because they're paying a premium for that service.
So why it's important to identify a marketplace order is because the McDonald's app or Walmart's website, they're not going to have a field for a customer to enter a tip. There's not going to be a tip, guys. And you might think, oh, but the customer can always put it in through the DoorDash app. Here's the thing. Because these companies are outsourcing their orders to DoorDash, there is no guarantee that that customer has the DoorDash application. Even further to that point, the DoorDash application for the customer, if they do have the app, it's not going to link across to an online Walmart order that they put through the Walmart website. You're not going to get a customer rating for this one. The customer has no option to put a tip in. And if the customer has no option to put a tip in and you're tip reliant, you need to identify these marketplace orders.
But Chris, how do I identify a marketplace order? I just see things pop up on my screen and I accept or decline it.
Well, there's two things. And this is where you need to put in a little bit of graft and research yourself. So on the zone that you dash in, download the customer app. Search through on the customer app to see which restaurants are available or which stores are available on it. If you don't see a Walmart on the customer app, they're ordering it through Walmart's website. If you don't see a KFC on the customer app, they're ordering it through KFC's website. By doing that little bit of research, and if you see one of these big businesses come through and it looks like an absolute dog shit $2 order, you can have pretty strong confidence to know that there's not going to be a customer tip on this, because the customer has not done it through the DoorDash app and there is no tipping option on Walmart's website. Unfortunately, the second way to identify it is after you've already accepted the order. So if you get an order through and it says unknown number of items, when you get to the restaurant or the store, that's a marketplace order. Essentially, all the items that that customer's put through on the website, it hasn't transferred across into DoorDash's app via their API. So it just says unknown number of items. You can't see the item breakdown of everything the customer's ordered because the API for DoorDash has not accepted all that data coming in. Therefore, it just shows unknown. So if you're in that position and that's happened to you, you've accepted the order, you see unknown number of items, just get it to the customer as soon as you can and move on. Now guys, if you have any rules for your own acceptance criteria that I haven't mentioned tonight, leave them down in the comments. That way we can learn as a community and we can all grow together. End of the day, we don't want to be taking shit orders and we all want to learn together to earn as much money as possible. If you've learned anything from this video or it's reinforced some of the things you already knew, be sure to smash the like and subscribe button to continue following my journey through. I'd love to keep bringing out content like this in the future. Other than that guys, take it easy till next time. Peace out.